Hi, and good day to you. It's currently evening or very late evening when I'm recording this for you for tomorrow, so that tomorrow I can be with my family. And before I went to bed, I was going to do this live tomorrow for you guys, and I might still put a Zoom link up for anyone that wants to join me in a meditation tomorrow. I always think of this sort of time in Easter, like Christmas, it's a time to be around families, but I will be doing my own contemplation and prayer, or what some would call prayer. For me, it is a deep meditation. And I'll be doing that tomorrow if you're wanting to join me later. But for those that can't, or that those that want to watch this at their leisure, I wanted to do a little meditation and power of prayer for us and for ourselves. Now, Good Friday, from what my understanding, is a time for fasting, a somber time. Although there are processions that would have been taking place that won't be taking place because of the social distancing at the moment. So I want to send my love and blessings for those people that are unable to practice their faith in a way that they would have always done, and send my deepest deepest love for those that may have lost people today. I don't generally talk about what I would say the negative of what's going on, because I use my space on my page as a point for anyone that watches and views my videos as a solace from away from everything else and the fear that may well be going on in your own life. Not to remind you of that, but today I think it's important to remember those, and I think we will do that in our meditation. But also to remember that, depending on what your beliefs are, some believe in the cycle that of rebirth, and I think especially this weekend that cycle is very potent, and renewal around Easter time, and aligning with that for ourselves and the cycles of our own life that goes on, even just the woman's menstrual cycle. I mean, it needs to be related, but there are lots of cycles of how we are as people, our own personalities, and your own times of what's going on in your life. And honouring that, I think, is important, but also honouring how someone lived and how they were, and memorising those wonderful things about them, um, and celebrating that side of them. But at the same time, remembering that it's us. I remember in my religious studies years and years ago, when I must have been about 9 years old, my RE teacher saying to me that our grief is somewhat selfish. And I thought, what a thing to say, in shock and horror. And she said it's because that, and from that perspective, that person is now in a better place, or in, to me, non-physical. Now, from my own experience, and I can only talk from my own experience of losing my mum, I felt her I felt her go into non-physical, and that sense of overwhelming love as she totally immersed into non-physical. I felt that in that time. And on the day of her funeral, I felt like I was wrapped in liquid love, like she was reaching out and saying, look, this is what I'm feeling. Please don't cry for me. Now, that's my own personal belief. And I know that that is not everyone's belief, but lots of people do believe that you go on to heaven. And I'm going to just talk about this in the sense that lots of people have a belief that you move to a better place. So for those that do, in a remembrance of that, and feel like you're sending that love with them wherever they may be. If there are people that you know personally, and I know there are people and members of our group that have lost people to corona. So for those of you who are thinking, why? And that overwhelming sense of helplessness, this is especially for you, to feel that wrapping of yourself, and to connect into your inner self and that part of you that's more than, and that there will be repercussions, I personally believe, of everything that's going on in our world. Lots of people in the spiritual community are seeing and focusing on the positives of what the effects of us having to stop has done and what the repercussions of that will come about. And that's not to lessen any of the deaths that are happening, any of the losses, any of the fears of people that with their careers and all the other implications of what's going on right now. It's not just about people that have corona. So people have asked me to say about this, and I, as I say, I don't talk much about it, but I felt that today was a good day to do that. It felt right. So that said, I want you to relax yourself into a comfortable position. Sit comfortably and start to just become aware of your body's posture. So, for example, mine, always rolling my shoulders back because that's where I feel my tension here. It may not be for you, but just if there's any way you feel any tension in the lower back, just sit bones, have a little jiggle around and shake that out and just try and loosen yourself up before you sit to breathe and do our breath work. When you've done that, just to close your eyes and sit, we're going to sit in contemplation. Okay, start to become aware of the sounds, the subtleties of that, the feelings within your body, be that in your body's posture, and the sense, so the sense of smell as you breathe in, and as you exhale out. As you do that, any tastes in your mouth that you may be aware of. And breathing. Continue to breathe for me. Focusing on that breath as you're breathing in and out. And then start to become aware of that pause just before you exhale. Maybe to put your hand on your heart. I'm not going to go into it now, but there's lots I've been learning about the power of our heart, the science side of things. But just in feeling that heartbeat, I want us to get to a place where that heart coherence. So, I want you to imagine how from your heart going outwards, there's a beam of light. And that light is beaming out and going from the center of your heart with every pulse. That heart, with every pulse, is emitting waves of light like ripples. The vibration that is your heartbeat that shows up on a heart rate monitor. That little ding, 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 ding. The vibration itself. See it like waves, like you would if you chucked a stone into a puddle. See that's expanding out. First, throughout your body, but then around you, as we know now in science, sends signals to the brain, but up and around like a bubble. And that bubble that has you and your heart at the center, I want you to see it expanding and growing and filling the room. And as you see it expanding and growing, I want you to feel lighter. Feel like you're being flooded, that if you opened your eyes, it would be too bright to see. And that light is representative either just of the light or of your faith, whatever that may be. It may be different for each of us. Shining so bright. Connecting and anchored here in your heart. But we're going to expand that field right out as big as we can do. We're going to do that by imagining that everyone that's watching and viewing, we're now holding hands virtually, metaphorically, but really significantly. And as we do this, we join together, we set off a chain reaction. The light in each of us expands and grows. So there's like a grid that's growing. If you can imagine a view that, although we're metaphorically holding hands, we're also high up in the sky, as if we're standing on the moon looking down at the earth, or in the heavens, however you prefer. But you have a view of earth and see a grid going out around the globe of all the other people, all the other lights in this space as we pray or we connect. And I want you to see anyone that is, or you are aware of, that you might think of, that pops into your mind that you've lost. It doesn't have to be to Corona. It could be for any reason that they have passed or transitioned to non-physical. I want you to imagine like a beam of light coming up from the earth, up into this amazing light grid that's surrounding it. Becoming one and part of that light. That light is representative of the emotion of love, of the divine, with all of their knowledge, all of their desires and their wanting, going into the collective. To bring forth what is needed. So we are thankful for them, for their lives, for their every being, for all that they have, all that they ever was. And I want you to, regardless of your faith, I want you to just imagine love going to their families, wrapping around them like a blanket of soothing comfort. Comfort in the world where it's needed. Strengthen it where it's needed. for those in leadership positions. And as I'm someone from the UK, I'm sure you have people in your own countries, but for me right now, it's not, regardless of political beliefs, I'm just mirroring what Liz said today. Lynn, sorry. What Lynn said today. So our leaders have strength and well-being, imagining the newsreels of their wellness to help, imagining the stability that's needed, the sense of community, that the right and relevant people be where they need to be, for all the key workers, whether it's from a dustman to a nurse. May their immune systems be strengthened. May they be fortified with this feeling and this wave of love. May those that have to deal with things that us wave of emotion. May those who have things that they may not want to deal with because they're on the front lines, so to speak, give them the energy, the resolution and strength. May there be forgiveness for any who succumb to their fear. Who are in their own path and journey, dealing with things the best they can. We send them love also. And we hold to that light. Feeling it strengthening us, grounding us, and surrender to that, letting go of what needs to go, what did not work before, retaining what is best for the good of all. And not just for the globe, but for our own personal life. Remembering to retreat and connect with our hearts and with our greater community, wherever that may be for us personally, be it with groups and our churches or our circles and our women's groups, or for Goddess, God, whichever you are aligned with your own beliefs. Or it may be just to connect to yourself and have a moment connecting with that coherence of your heart as it resonates, balancing with that and your brain, for your body's simple well-being. Before you open your eyes, if you haven't already, and please close them again, I want you just to imagine the earth below us. And as it's has its own magnetic fields and cycles, and as we do too, connecting in rhythm. Imagine the earth and a heartbeat at its center pulsing and your heartbeat pulsing with it, in sync. If there is anything, any messages or anything that we should know while we're here in this space, they will come to us now. You see an image, a word, or anything that over the days, weeks or hours will be significant for you to know. See in clarity. As you pulse with that earth, I want you to see a clear crystalline pool. Reach down and see what you pick up. There's something there for you, a message, an image, a symbol. It may be that you are drawn to a particular passage in a book. Maybe it's a prayer. Maybe it's just a symbol or a totem that's significant to you. And guidance from the divine, from your inner being. However you choose to view this, there is no right or wrong. And say thank you as I thank you. Again, we got the toes, becoming aware of your body. Breathing deeper in and out. As you're breathing in, lifting the shoulders up and down. Now, as I'm sitting in the chair, this might be quite hard for me to demonstrate, but I want you to lift your arms up. And as you lift your arms up, I want you to stand all the way up. And as you lift and go down, go all the way down. So you're bending right over completely until you're touching your toes. And do that 2 or 3 times. Make sure you're steady in case you start to feel lightheaded. And sitting back down. And when you're ready, if you haven't already, open your eyes. It's important right now that you drink some water. I have my moon charged water. And maybe if you're not fasting, if it's not a fasting day for you today, then have something solid as well, something healthy. Thank you for watching. I hope that my words speak to your heart. I always speak from my heart and speak from my truth. I hope I do not offend anyone, as I'm know that on my page there are people of multi faiths, but now, as always, I've always believed that all the faiths all hold at the same core the message of love. I think that we would all agree to send out. And I wish to do this, especially today, and more importantly, over the next few days. I think it's important, if you've got time to do, and you can sit and visualize, as I imagine, a grid around the earth of, if you wish to use images of angels, of Christ, of Buddha as well. I think that that is important, and the crystal structures that I mentioned in one of my bite-sized meditations, like a net of love. And that's my message for today. If you can use your brain's creative chemicals to do that over the next few days, each day, I think that that would have a big benefit. And I think today, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, and I will probably do another meditation over the weekend. I'm not sure which, as I said, this is a time also of family, but I think I felt drawn not just to connect with you globally, but to be spending the time with my family at home. Email popped up from Jack Canfield. I just want to add this for those who, obviously, the meditation starts to get longer, but I had a message pop up in my email, in my inbox, from Jack Canfield, an email that I received, and it was meditation. And I thought, no, vibe check. I haven't done my vibe check today. I've only done it once. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do, because I was expecting to do a deep meditation. I thought, oh, I'll do it later. I think it's very important for us that are very spiritually minded to be doing this, even more so now, as I'm always saying, in the high vibe community, and for the light workers in our community, that we're very much sending that love out. We need to make sure we are connected, and we will not be depleted, but I think it's not necessarily the depleting, because there is an abundance of that energy out there for you, and most of us that are on this path know this. So if that resonates with you, of the message for you. But I was finding I'm doing this, also our families in our homes need us too. And I found this weekend, with this is the time for relationships as well, with the moon, and I was finding the same thing. So I wanted to spend the time with my family. So I've paused. I think I've done 5 bite size. I will continue them, but I'm going to be taking a break from that for the time being, just for the Easter weekend, to be spending that time with my children and my partner, as I hope and urge you to do the same. But I also urge you to take the time in the mornings to sit down and to meditate, and to send out that blessing or that prayer, whether it's a prayer or blessing, or just the creative visualization of that loving grid going out for loved ones, and for those that have lost people, to even more so to connect yourself, so you don't start to feel drained by your grief at this time, when there's lots of other energies going on around you. You need your energy to be in a good place, and the way to do that is to connect here with your resources, your anchor, as well as all the other eating things. I'm trying to share all the wonderful people that we've had on Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. Please do view their videos. They're still there. There's a link also in the resources that I've added, and I've asked the people that have in the community that have their own resources to share those as well, for people. If you're looking for a particular thing, you can scroll down and go to that. Anyway, my love and blessings for you, for your family, and for today. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time.